Hey guys, it's Barb with Inspire Me 360, and I'm here with Christina, and she is the founder of Pups with Soul. And in this episode, we're going to be chatting a little bit about some of the darker sides of what goes on in the lives of dogs and puppies, and those, I guess, that we're going to say were born on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Some sad stuff. So grab your box of Kleenex, guys. I'm not being sarcastic because we're going to probably be crying through most of this, but
it's important for people to hear this part. And I don't want to say I'm excited to share this part, but this is a part of rescue that a lot of times is not talked about enough, because I feel like dogs get let down by humans all the time. And there's just not enough justice. There's not enough punishment for people who abuse animals.
Yeah.
There just isn't. And so by talking about the situations, and I feel like educating people about the stories, as much as you don't want to hear these stories,
it's
you
real.
need to hear them.
Yeah, it's real.
To make it real and to hopefully inspire a change, right? So a few of the, okay, I'm gonna start crying already. A few of like the hardest ones that,
it's okay, you can get through it.
So we had this dog that was pulled off of a really crappy situation. This dog had been attacked by a dog pack attack, and he was left, tied up, left.
Okay, so the owners had left him outside, attached to a rope.
Attacked by some dogs. So he, when we got him, he was just like covered in abrasions and rips and tears, but he'd been left there for probably a good week. So just think of the pain that this
outside.
So
the owners of this dog had him tethered outside so he could not defend himself, left him in this brutal situation, and then still left him for a week. Wow.
So we got him, we took him to the vet, rushed him to the vet, and he was full of maggots. Like thousands of maggots. So you put in this solution into his body, which it makes the maggots come.
I've done it before at the vet.
Yeah,
come
it's
out.
Not fun. And like he stopped breathing, the dog. The girls brought him back. He stopped breathing again. And I just was like,
oh God.
Just let him go, like.
Yeah, the poor guy had enough. Did he survive, or?
No. I said just like, let him go. Like it's too much for one dog to endure. So, the owners get nothing.
So there's no
repercussion for that, sadly. And this poor dog laid there suffering for a week before.
And how did it come to be that you found out about a situation like this?
So we'll hear about different situations all the time, and it's sad, but you still have to get the permission of the owners.
Really? Mm-hmm. So then somebody will say, I know of this household, and there's nothing in our legal system whatsoever to protect dogs?
You can call the Humane Society and the SPCA and bylaw and things like that, and I mean, this was a serious case, right? But a lot of times if a dog has food and water and enough shelter, that's good enough, for a dog, whether it's not an ideal situation. Right?
Okay.
So, I mean, that was a brutal one. There's been puppies that we've had that have had like really bad parvo, that have come into our care.
And so where do these puppies come from? Like, can we have a little bit of a dialogue about that?
Yeah, so we get a lot of puppies from First Nation reservations, right? So here in Calgary or in Saskatchewan or different places and stuff, right? And they just don't have the proper, they're not cared for.
They're just not cared for.
Yeah, they're not cared for. You have to be careful kind of what you say with First Nation reservations, but they're not spaying, neutering them, right? They're not looking after them properly. They're just kind of left to roam around, and then those
it's tough
situations. Other situations we've had, like I had this dog once who was, you could tell, had been beaten and abused. You know, you lifted your hand and it would cower down, and then you took a step forward and he would growl at you and like bare your teeth, and you know, you try to do as much as you can to rehabilitate these dogs. And some dogs, sadly, are just not, like, they've been through so much trauma that you can't rehabilitate them, and the best thing for them is to let them go.
Right.
And a lot of people would look down at a rescue for that.
Well, and I think a lot of people that don't understand the circumstances, because again, I have a little bit of dog trauma. So my ex was, you know, into the bodybuilding, the bikes, the pit bulls, okay? And I believe pit bulls are beautiful animals if they're in the right hands. But we ended up with a very aggressive dog that should not have been around people. And it was the scariest thing for me. I was a young girl and I had an animal on my hands that I could not control. And I don't think anybody could have controlled this dog. But it's, again, because it must have been beaten into the dog. Like, dogs don't just turn out like that, right?
No, and we've had lots of dogs that have come from fight rings. And those ones are really hard to rehabilitate. The ones that have maybe gone just a little bit too far, right? With the abuse and stuff, like the training to be that fight dog, you know, and you can't get it out of a dog. But here's the thing, is a responsibility of a rescue too, is I have a responsibility for the dog, but I also have a responsibility for the community. The general public, I will not adopt a dog out that I know could potentially bite somebody, could harm a kid, could like do some 100%. Fatal damage, because then that dog will end up getting euthanized. That dog will hurt somebody to a point, like we've seen the stories on the news with dogs that have like mauled somebody to death. And then that comes back to the rescue too, right? And I'm not just going to adopt a dog out to adopt a dog out. No. Right? If that dog is too aggressive, I will put that dog down.
And I think, again, it's the most balanced choice. The animal, again, has gone through so much trauma, likely, that it's not capable of being a domesticated dog. And it's a sad story, but there's also people that unfortunately are kind of undomesticated.
Should be.
I don't want to go there. Let's not go there on this video. But, you know, in a similar way, you know, when there is trauma, it is what it is. And, you know, there's no criticism. Those are the sad stories. Those are the stories that obviously we're trying to prevent against at all costs. But if we don't talk about these things.
That's right.
And fundamentally, I think it comes down to human beings of every culture learning that and not even learning, we have to relearn to respect all life. And I feel like in the, you know, in sort of the previous eras, people have been, you know, farmers coming across the plains on their wagons. Their top priority wasn't, you know, the animal welfare. But because we've achieved a certain status of living, we can start to look at some of these ways of raising the vibration here on planet Earth, becoming a better version of our human species, and just doing it a little bit more right.
Yes, I 100% agree. I do.
Yes.
You know, and as the rescue, it's our responsibility to rehome that dog, right? To what we hope is going to be the best home too, right? And who we hope is going to look after the dog and things like that. So again, back to say an abusive dog, or, you know, that's been abused, like, I also have to put the trust into you, as the person adopting, that you're going to do what's best for that dog and the community. So
basically you set us up with all of the right stuff, tools, but as, you know, a new mommy or mom and pop parents, whoever is adopting, it could be both, could be singly. It's a responsibility of ours to do our best job and to carry on the hard work that you've put in into this life.
And that's my trust I'm putting into people I'm adopting dogs to too, right? Is hoping, because once I adopt a dog out, it's kind of out of my hands. Right? So that's where, you know, I have to make sure that if a dog, say, does come to me that's been surrendered with some aggression issues or what have you, right? That I will do what I can to rehabilitate that dog. But again, some dogs just can't.
Well, and responsible dog ownership. I mean, even Riley's here with us today, and her breed, she's a dachshund, and they're typically meant for hunting badgers, and they're quite aggressive little guys. When I go to the dog park with her, I don't put her in situations where she's going to get hurt or she's gonna put another owner. I pick her up, I do my due diligence to keep her out of harm's way, and responsible dog owners have to do the same. If you have some of these, you know, maybe overly aggressive breeds like German Shepherds, or if you have, you know, a pit bull, this kind of thing. I've had 2 of them. I love the breed, but I also, you need to keep them on a leash. And if your dog tends to be a little more aggressive when he's playing, get a proper
muzzle. It's not hard. It's not bad for them.
No,
it's not. Like I have a dog in care right now, little Dolly, and you have her without the muzzle on, and she's absolutely unpredictable.
Right.
She's good with the dog, and then all of a sudden, like boom, attack.
Yes.
Where she has the muzzle on, nobody's getting hurt.
No.
And she's still being a dog.
She's still playing.
Learning that dogs are friends and learning to be able to play with dogs. Right. So it's not a bad thing to have a muzzle.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's not. It's actually safer. It's safer that for other dogs, but it rehabilitates her
as well, because she's learning that all dogs are safe.
Because I got her, she's a year and a half, and I had no idea what her life was like before, because she was brought in as a stray.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about this docu-series and this up-and-coming passion project you have. So can you tell the viewers a little bit more about this?
I'm so excited for this, because we've been talking about, my sister and I have been talking about this for a long time, probably a good year or so. And we, there is nothing like it on TV to explain the back end of a rescue. So first of all, what dogs go through, what we've just kind of been talking about, right? Where we get the dogs, what the rescue does behind the scenes, because again, lots of people don't see that part, what it takes to get a dog adoptable, and then the rehabilitation part, the vet care, the adoption part, the fun part too, right?
The fun stuff,
of course, and you know, just educating people about the life of a rescue. So I'm super excited, and like you know, we've been again talking about it for a long time. So I'm very thankful for you too to be able to help kick this off.
This is amazing.
And do these videos to.
It's fun.
It is.
It's fun.
It's fun.
You know, we can even maybe take some of our crew out and come visit you at the ranch. And
that would be amazing.
Bring our drone out.
Yep.
And
that would be awesome.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff that we can do. And again, we have a big community of students here, so I'm going to reach out to our student body, and then we'll send out some newsletters across Canada too about this. So I love it. But yeah, you guys definitely wait for this. Check it out. I know we're going to do some stuff to try to get it aired on television and stuff like that. We'll work on that. But YouTube, I'm sure you'll have links to it on your website.
Yes, I will, absolutely.
Okay.
Website, and then again, the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
All the stuff.
All the social.
All the socials. Okay, again, we weren't trying to scare you guys with any of these doggy stories, but again, I want to say this, you know, as we kind of wrap up this video. When you speak your truth, when you are being and walking in absolute authenticity, magical things happen, and it actually shows other people that living their passion is possible. And I think this is a really cool story in the fact that if you want to change the world, you can. You know, you don't have to do the 9 to 5, the typical thing. You can actually follow your dreams, and it can happen.
Yes, follow your passions, your dreams. It's always been a dream of mine to open a rescue, and it took me, you know, a good 10 years before it actually came into fruition. And again, I feel like I'm just getting started. And like our big plan for the rescue is I'd like to expand the rescue.
I know you're so excited about this. We're going to talk about this in the next episode.
Okay.
We're going to do the whole manifestation video. But to those viewers out there, advocate for animals, you know, talk about it. If you have somebody in a conversation that, I know a lot of individuals in my life, you know, traditional farm type people, they don't value animal life. I speak up. I say, no, I'm sorry. These little guys have got me through some of the hardest times. Some of my best friends are animals, and they have 4 legs. And I'm not going to accept shitty treatment of animals.
Exactly. And you have a voice.
Yeah.
You can speak up. You can reach out to like the Humane Society, bylaws, different things like that, or call somebody out if you see somebody that's actually abusing an animal and things like. It's your right, and you're only protecting that animal.
100%. And you know what? The individuals, the egos that might still believe some of this silliness about, you know, animals are just beasts and who cares, and they have no emotions or no souls.
I could do a whole video on that.
Just the stuff. Oh my God, I can't even. But just, you know, the younger generation, the older generation, those of us that really know the value of the animals and their little animal spirits, you know, utilize your voice because it's powerful.
Yes, absolutely it is.
Okay. Well, we are going to wrap this episode up. This is Christina, again, the amazing founder of Pups with Souls, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you.